Test. Test.
This one too. with me. Ready? We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
Return again.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. We return. Return again and again to we return again to love.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. We return. Return again.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. We return. Return again and again to
Truth together.
We return again to
Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuv Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. Return again. We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. Return again and again to We return again to you.
We return again to you. We return to each other. Shana Tova, Gamar Chatima Tova. We welcome you back to Temple Beth Sholom for this annual soul cleanse, this holy day of repentance and forgiveness. You know, at our Rosh Hashanah Unplugged service every year, we ask people to write down the regrets that they have, the times they've missed the mark, and the hopes they have for doing a better job in the coming year. And as I was reading the list this year, I came across this phrase: I didn't forgive my rabbi. So, on behalf of all of your rabbis and your cantors, I ask for your forgiveness for all the times we let you down, misspoke, didn't agree, didn't understand, weren't responsive enough to you. weren't present enough, we ask your forgiveness. And if that isn't enough, then please call us so we can have a face-to-face conversation. In turn, we forgive you for all the times you let us down. And in this spirit of forgiveness, I ask you to turn to the people with whom you came to ask their forgiveness if you haven't already done so.
You're doing great. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Let's take advantage of having nothing to
I know,
apologize
exactly.
for.
All right.
First year. That's the only time it's true.
It's fun to ask for forgiveness, right? Feels good. So we are going to continue in our prayers by turning in our Machzors to page 9, and it is truly my pleasure to invite up my husband Adam, my mother Barbara, my daughter Hannah, Rabbi Davis's wife Natalie, and son Joshua to please join us on the bima for the kindling of the Yom Tov candles. Page 9.
The human spirit is the lamp of God, searching out what lies within us. Guided by the flame of conscience, on this sacred night we search for truth. Shine your light upon us as we strive to serve you. May we find safety in your faithful love. We light the flame of healing and forgiveness. On this atonement night, we give thanks for love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom HaKippurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh.
We continue our service on page 14, and we ask those who have been invited to open the Ark or hold a Torah to please come forward at this time. We rise as the Ark doors are opened. Yom Kippur, the Jewish people's festival of the soul, and Kol Nidre, its sacred portal, a night of deep emotions, a night, as the psalmist wrote, to rejoice with trembling. We rejoice at the sound of Kol Nidre, rhythmic words of release from vows, oaths, and promises to God we failed to keep. We tremble at the melody, music of spiritual amazement. It fills us with awe as we stand before God and the Torah.
We rejoice as we stand together, strengthened by community in this hour of shared weakness and humility. We tremble, for tonight we confess our flaws, admit our imperfection, and acknowledge a power far beyond our understanding.
We rejoice that we commit ourselves to great endeavors because we feel so deeply and think so nobly. We tremble, for we find that our ideals are far greater than our ability. Our promises surpass our might.
We rejoice in the freedom that is Kol Nidre's true gift, the freedom to begin a new year without fear of failure, to aspire to be God's image in the world. We tremble because we are mortal. We rejoice in our gratitude for life. We rejoice with trembling and enter Kol Nidre to face our humanity.
Zaru alat Sadiq, Zaru alat Sadiq, Ul Yishrei love, Ul Yishrei love, Ul Yishrei love, Simcha. Zaru alat Sadiq, Zaru alat Sadiq, Ul Yishrei love, Ul Yishrei love, Ul Yishrei love, Simcha. Zaru alat Sadiq,
Zaru alat Sadiq,
Zaru alat Sadiq,
Zaru alat Sadiq,
Ul Yishrei love, Ul Yishrei love, Simcha. Zaru alat Sadiq,
Zaru alat Sadiq,
Zaru alat Sadiq,
Zaru alat Sadiq,
Ul Yishrei love, Ul Yishrei love, Simcha. B'shiva shemala u'b'shiva shemata al dat hamakom ve'al dat hakahal anu matirin lehitpalel im ha'avaryanim.
Page 19. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. Let our spoken words, every vow and every oath, be honest and well-intentioned. Let our words cause no pain, bring no harm, and never lead to shame, distrust, or fear. And if, after honest effort, we are unable to fulfill a promise, a vow, or an oath, may we be released from its obligation and forgiven for our failure. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. Kol Nidre.
Yom Kippur
Recite these words together in English at the bottom of the page, page 18. All vows, resolves, and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until next day of atonement. May it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid, and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows. Our resolves shall not be resolves. And our oaths, they shall not be oaths. And now we continue on page 19. Give us the strength to keep our promises, the sacred vows of partners in marriage, the promises of love and care between parents and children, the promises of duty between citizens and country, the oaths of doctors, the sacred trust of teachers. Together, give us the strength to keep our promises to our friends and colleagues, to those who live with us and depend on us, to those who work for us and those for whom we work, to those who pray with us and those for whom we pray, to those we love and those we serve. Give us the courage to keep our promises to ourselves and to one another and to future generations. As the ark doors are closed, we are seated. And at this time, we are so privileged to welcome back Aaron Merritt, our cellist, who has graced our bima for many, many years with this haunting and beautiful melody of Kol Nidre. Aaron performs all around the world, and we feel very blessed to have him with us tonight. Kol Nidre. Just going to wait for the lights. Thank you, Aaron. That was so beautiful. Thank you. (1922) was a busy year for Albert Einstein. He went to Paris to help normalize relations between France and Germany, completed his very first paper on unified theory, and he was on his way to Asia for a lecture tour when he learned that he had won the Nobel Prize in physics. Nevertheless, he decided to continue on with his tour to Japan rather than go to Stockholm to accept his prize. While staying at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, a courier made a delivery to him. Einstein left the courier with an unusual tip. It's not known whether the courier refused Einstein's money or whether he just had no small change to give to him, but no matter, Einstein didn't want to send him away empty-handed. So on a piece of hotel stationery, Einstein composed his theory of happiness. A calm and modest life brings more happiness than the pursuit of success combined with constant restlessness. Save this note, he told the courier. It may be valuable one day. This year we learned just how valuable it was. In an auction in Jerusalem in October, the note on happiness sold to an anonymous bidder for $1.56 million. Not a bad tip. Einstein's advice had enduring value, not just monetary worth, but true spiritual wisdom. A calm and modest life brings more happiness than the pursuit of success combined with constant restlessness. I don't know much about physics, but the greatest physicist of all time was clearly a spiritual mentor. At this moment of his greatest success, the pinnacle of his career, winning the Nobel Prize, he needed to remind himself to stay grounded. Like Einstein, we live in a restless world at an anxious time. A New York Times article last year proffered that anxiety was transforming from a medical condition to a societal one. If you're a human being living in 2017 and you're not anxious, there's something wrong with you, said a 37-year-old social media consultant who was interviewed for this article. We have the gnawing feeling that there must be something more. FOMO, the fear of missing out, sends us running and keeps us looking over our shoulder with that constant restlessness that Einstein cautioned against. So many people I speak to, even those with thriving careers, beautiful children, loving partners, comfortable homes, still feel a sense of anxiety, emptiness, hunger, yearning for something more, a bigger house, a job promotion, the right friends, something. It's sort of this nagging feeling like I've forgotten something, but I don't know what I've forgotten, said a 36-year-old congregant. We wonder, is this all there is? We distract ourselves with endless diversions, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I can't remember my passwords to any of them. The 24/7 news cycle, the newest gadget or car or diet, looking everywhere outside of ourselves, chasing, racing for something to bring us a sense of wholeness and fulfillment. Yom Kippur is our wake-up call. Without food, water, smartphones, or work, we stand here today empty-handed, tasting our mortality. One day a year we confront this truth: we will not live forever, none of us. Our lives are fragile, finite, and fleeting. Standing on this contrived cusp of death forces us to ask the urgent question, Mi ani, who am I? This is our day for Cheshbon HaNefesh, the accounting of our souls. This is the day that we are reminded that true joy, cannot be found in the restless pursuit of something outside of ourselves, something material or fleeting. It is to be found by growing what is inside of us, that spark of God we carry deep within that is known as our soul. But the truth is, many of us feel distant from our souls. We're actually not even sure what or where our soul is. We know this: Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul. Chicken soup is soul food. Soul Train was a TV show. But what is the soul? Rabbi Harold Schulweis of blessed memory recounts a midrash, a story, that when the angels heard that God was going to create the image of his own being and breathe the breath of life into it, the angels conspired with each other to hide the image of the divinity. The angel Gabriel proposed to put it on the top of the highest mountain. The other angels objected, no, the humans will climb to the top of the highest mountain and they'll find it there. So the angel Michael proposed that they hide it at the bottom of the deep sea. And the angels protested, no, the humans will learn to dive to the bottom of the sea and they'll find it there. And so the angels, one by one, suggested hiding places, but each one was rejected. Finally, Uriel, who was the wiliest angel of them all, stepped forward and said, I know a place where people will never look for it. And so the angels hid God's holy image deep inside human beings, in the place that is our soul. And there it remains, hidden in the place that feels as distant as the farthest star, but in reality is closer than you may ever know. God's candle, says the Proverbs, is the human soul. It is there, buried deep within, too often overlooked, tarnished, numbed. In our restless pursuit of external gratification or achievement, we ignore what is most precious of all within. And that's why we're here today, to explore our inner lives, our very essence, our souls, to rekindle that spark, fan its flame, connect with ourselves, and in so doing, connect beyond ourselves. So to do this, we have to first recognize what's standing in our way, what is blocking us. It's not only our distractions and desires and restless pursuits that clutter the path to our souls. The rabbis understood that the Yetzer Hara, the evil urge, eclipses our connection. The Jewish philosopher, Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik, defines sin as that which creates distance between us and God, between us and our souls. You know, I've already mentioned the list of sins that are written at our unplugged service each year. And a version from this list continues to be repeated annually. Envy dominated my thoughts. I lost hope for positive change. I was dishonest with Nicorette, for making excuses and blaming others, always in a rush, racing to nowhere, for not being present, even if I'm there. I lost patience with my 90-year-old mother. I cursed at my children. I have lied to myself and to others. The list of sorrows is endless, page after page, raw and brokenhearted. It reveals all the ways we are fragile, all the ways we mess up, all the ways we put distance between ourselves and God, between ourselves and our souls. And yet, we are so much more than our failures. Teshuvah, the practice of repentance and forgiveness of these holy days, is what helps us return to our souls. Letting go of unrealistic expectations of others and of ourselves, recognizing that each one of us is flawed and imperfect, allows us to forgive ourselves and to forgive others. And in so doing, we connect to that shining piece of eternity buried deep within us, like a hidden treasure. So removing the clutter of disappointment and guilt through teshuvah restores the connection. But we want to do more than that. We want to grow our souls, to develop a spiritual muscle, to feel a near constant tether to that which is inside of us. So just as exercising our bodies requires discipline and hard work, so too does training our souls. In fact, the Hebrew word for worship is avodah, which means labor or work. The peace of Shabbat, the space that pausing each week permits us, disconnecting from all the clamor of daily demands, is Judaism's remedy for that constant restlessness that Einstein cautioned against. A spiritual practice of prayer, meditation, reflection, or spending time in nature allows us to hear the soul's whisper, the still small voice that is inside of us, the voice of clarity and conscience and hope. But you know, spiritual growth does not only come from turning inward, it's also about turning outward to the world around us in order to grow inside. My dear friend and colleague, Rabbi David Stern, talks about what he calls round-trip spirituality, explaining that the real purpose of nurturing our inner lives is to then turn outward to those in need. You know, I have found that the opposite direction holds true as well. When we follow our good impulse toward doing justice in the world, caring for the needy, mentoring others, answering the cry for help, all of these expressions of generosity, all of them, fan the embers of God's candle within us, creating a righteous cycle of growth, a round-trip spirituality. The spark inspires us to goodness, and then the righteous act swells the flame. And yet, sometimes even the most pious among us falter, feel connected, feel disconnected, and filled with doubt. Tragedy strikes, and suddenly we are untethered, lost. This year I read a story about such a man, and this story features once again the guru of both science and spirit, Albert Einstein. The book is called Einstein and the Rabbi, and it opens with a letter that Rabbi Naomi Levy happened upon, written by Albert Einstein. The letter is a mysterious answer to an unknown question, and in it, Einstein writes this: "A human being is part of the whole, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. Once again, we see Einstein, the physicist genius, with a spiritual message of wisdom. What separates us from others is only an optical delusion, he says. The whole religious enterprise is meant to help us transcend that notion of separation so that we recognize that we are interwoven strands in an elaborate and infinite web. So this then is the ultimate purpose of growing our souls. For it is the soul that helps us to grasp that we are part of something greater, something infinite and wondrous. It is the soul that enables us to experience that sense of wholeness, that recognition of Adonai Echad, God is one, and we are all part of that oneness. Levy's story is the account of her quest to uncover the question that inspired Einstein's religious missive. After a long and roundabout pursuit, she learns that Einstein's letter is actually written in response to a rabbi, Rabbi Robert Marcus, who was a grieving father who had lost his son. Marcus was an Orthodox rabbi from New Jersey who was a captain in the 9th Tactical Air Unit and had been on the beaches of Normandy in France and also in Germany. In fact, in April of 1945, Rabbi Marcus was one of the first American chaplains to enter the Buchenwald concentration camp, where he led the first Jewish service in a free Germany. Amid the staggering corpses there, Rabbi Marcus discovered 904 Jewish boys who had been hidden and saved by camp inmates. Saving these youngsters now became his own personal mission. Among them was a boy named Eliezer, who looked more dead than alive. We know him as Elie Wiesel. Weeks after accompanying the boys to safety in France, Rabbi Marcus returned to Germany, where he had miraculously secured 80 tickets on a ship to Palestine. One of the passengers on that ship was a 17-year-old girl who became Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Even after Rabbi Marcus returned home from his heroic mission, he was inspired to continue working for humanitarian causes with the World Jewish Congress. Leaving his family once again, he was on a ship back to France in 1949 when his children at home were stricken with polio. His younger two recovered, but his oldest son, Jay, his beloved firstborn, died of polio before Rabbi Marcus was able to make it home to see him one last time. He was stricken with grief and with guilt. He had saved literally hundreds of children's lives, but he couldn't save his own son. It was in this moment of desolation and despair that he wrote the letter to Einstein, seeking solace from the scientist. So why would a rabbi seek solace from a physicist rather than his own rabbi, who was the great Joseph Soloveitchik? Rabbi Marcus sought evidence that if matter endures, then the soul endures too. What would be the purpose of the spirit if with the body it should perish? Asked Marcus in his letter. It is a law of science that matter can never be destroyed. Things are changed, but the essence does not cease to be. The rabbi's aching letter beseeches Einstein to help him understand his loss, begging for reassurance in the immortality of the soul, reassurance that upon our death the soul is released from the vessel which holds it. The solace Rabbi Marcus sought is what each of us profoundly desires, the reassurance that our lives matter, that we are part of something greater, something infinite, something holy, that even beyond our time here on earth, our soul endures. This is the letter to which Einstein responds, stating that what separates us is not reality, but an optical delusion of consciousness. The soul is a piece of divinity, that piece of infinity that God implants within each of us. Our task, especially on Yom Kippur, is to uncover it, to fan its flame, to allow it to illumine our interconnectivity. Einstein understood that the religious enterprise is meant to help us transcend our separateness, our aloneness, and our finitude. In Judaism, that enterprise is not meant to be a solo venture, but a communal pursuit. We help each other, all of us, to grow our souls so that we are privy to more of those magical moments of transcendence where we recognize that we're part of something infinite, wondrous, and grand. Singing together, shoulder to shoulder, as we do here tonight, our souls soar. Serving those in need of mending restores the soul. Studying with each other, we often uncover a piece of ourselves that we didn't even know was there. Temple Beth Shalom's new Panim El Panim, face-to-face, small groups initiative will not only give our congregants the opportunity to deepen connections with each other, as I spoke about on Rosh Hashanah, but also to help us to grow our souls, to ask life's big questions, to reflect, grapple, and explore our inner lives together. Tonight, we ask the big question: what is your soul calling you to do? We go through this strenuous exercise year after year, this soul search to reconnect with God's candle implanted within us. And though that candle may flicker and waver, the 23rd Psalm reassures us, Nafshi Yishovev, God will restore my soul. A rabbinic teaching tells us that every blade of grass has an angel that hovers above it, whispering, grow, grow. For us humans, that is the voice of our soul, whispering inside of you. That voice is God's call to you. Listen to its call and grow.
ask you to now return to the prayer book, page 22, and please rise for the Baruch Hu. Page 24. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk, as your wisdom opens the gates of night. Your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 26, let's read together. Love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, for you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Yisrael. Page 28. You are my witnesses, says Adonai. God is the first, God is the last. There is no God but Adonai. Testify for me, says Adonai, in your love for me. For me, teach your children, embracing Torah now and forever. We accept God's sovereignty and reverence, treating others with love, studying Torah. May this be our will as we witness.
We offer a contemporary interpretation of the Ve'ahavta composed by Rabbi Thomas Daniels, Love, Only Love. Love, only love, with all your hearts. Love, only love, with all your soul. Listen to the wisdom inside and around you.
Page 39. Emet ve'emunah, truth and faithfulness in the night. Let's read together. Our sages taught it is proper to mention the exodus from Egypt in our morning prayers and also at night. We celebrate the going out from Egypt in the morning light, full of confidence and vigor as we enter the new day. But in the evening, weary from the day's exertions, cast down and fearful at the coming of the night, what can the exodus teach us then? Our nighttime prayer brings hope and trust in the future, as God did not abandon our people long ago, through the long, dark night of exile. So the Holy One will be with us in the time to come, to stand by the one you love. That is the true essence of faithfulness, the meaning of emunah. So it is written in the Psalms, to proclaim your kindness in the morning and your faithfulness in the nights. Sing with joy in the mornings of your life, when light surrounds you and the world seems beautiful and good, and in the evenings of your life, when you dwell in sorrow and the world seems dark, do not despair.
As the festival of Sukkot is approaching, we take note that the word Sukkah is actually embedded in the text of the Hashkivenu prayer. And so we pray that God will protect us each evening as we sleep with a Sukkat Shalom, a shelter of peace. We sing this soulful rendition of the Hashkivenu. I invite you to try to join in with me on page 42. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'Shalom, Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'Shalom, L'Shalom, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'Shalom.
Continue with the Chetzi Kaddish, page 45. Yitgadal v'yitgadash merabah v'yalma divrach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayedechol bet Yisrael b'gala uv'zman karev v'meru Yehi Shemer Abba Mevorach Le'olam u'lalmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei d'Kudsha Richu le'ela u'le'ela Min kol berchata v'shirata Tush v'chata v'lechem ala Damiram be'alma v'meru Amen. We continue with the Amidah, page 46, our chance to stand before God and to begin our own private prayers as a community.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Ve'Elohei Magen Avraham Vizrat Sarah. Atai Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Ata Rav LaHoshia Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishnei Afar Mi Chamocha Bal Gevurot Umi Dome Lach Melech Limit Umechayei Umotmiach Yeshua Mi Chamocha El Harachamim Mi Chamocha El Harachamim Sochem Yisurav L'chaim Sochem Yisurav L'chaim Berabim V'ne'eman atah L'hachayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol
Please turn to page 58 and join together in English. You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation. Upon Mount Zion, home of your presence, and in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you. As the psalmist believed, Adonai will reign eternally, your God, Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah.
Kadosh ata v'nora shemecha ve'in Eloah mebaladecha kakatuv vayigbar Adonai tzvaot b'mishpat ve'ha'el hakadosh nikdash b'tzedakah Baruch atah Adonai HaMelech HaKadosh.
Amen. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 62. Ya'aleh v'yavo. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Ya'aleh v'yavo v'yagia v'yera'eh v'yeratzeh. Let's read together in English. Our God and God of generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace, on this Day of Atonement. Page 64. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo letova. Amen. Ufoktenu bo livracha.
Amen.
והושיענו בו לחיים. Amen. Eternal our God, remember us. Be mindful of us. And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing. Favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion. We continue with Kadshenu, page 68. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kadshenu b'mitzvotecha v'tein chelkenu b'toratecha sabenu mituvecha v'samchenu b'shuatecha v'taher libenu v'taher libenu v'taher libenu le'avdecha b'emet v'taher libenu v'taher libenu v'taher libenu le'avdecha b'emet ki ata solchan le'Yisrael u'mochalan le'shivtei Yeshurun v'chodor v'dor ומבלעדיך אין לנו מלך מוחל וסולח אלא אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני מלך מוחל וסולח לעוונותינו. מלך מוחל וסולח לעוונותינו. מוחל וסולח לעוונותינו. מלך מוחל וסולח לעוונותינו. ולעוונות עמו בית ישראל ומעביר אשמותינו בכל שנה ושנה. מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל. ויום הכיפורים. Continue with a prayer of gratitude, page 74, as we read this modim together in English. God who is ours, God of all generations, to you we are grateful forever, rock and protector of our lives. Your saving power endures from age to age. We thank you and tell the tale of your praise, your power in our lives, your caring for our souls, the constant miracle of your kindness. Morning, noon, and night, we call you goodness, for your compassion never ends. We call you mercy, for your love has no limit. We call you hope, now and for all time. We continue with Ve'al Kulam.
Ve'al Kulam, Ve'al Kulam, Yitbarach ve'yitromam, Yitbarach ve'yitromam, Shimcha Malkeinu Tamid le'olam va'ed. Ve'al Kulam, Ve'al Kulam, Yitbarach ve'yitromam, Yitbarach ve'yitromam, Shimcha Malkeinu Tamid le'olam va'ed. V'chol ha'chayim yodu chasela v'ya'aliyu et shimcha be'emet ha'el Yeshuatenu
בך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, הטוב שמך, ולך
turn to page 79, and let's pray the words of the Birkat Shalom together in English. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Inscribe us in the book of life, blessing and peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace.
Shalom Al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Shalom Al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Tahu melech adon lechol hashalom. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael. בספר חיים ברכה ושלום, ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה, ברכה ושלום ניזכר וניכתב בפניך, אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל. Continue with the silent meditation as we continue our Cheshbon HaNefesh, the accounting of our souls.
hearts have been open with this beautiful music and the prayers, and so we come to the vidui portion of our service, the confessional prayers. And we turn now to page 83. Ashamnu. When I was young and learned the alphabet, life was open to me. A was full of aspiration, B was for beauty, C for confidence, and D for dreams, and so on through the list. No fewer than 26 opportunities, 26 possibilities. And yet I fear that with the passage of time, I've squandered them, creating instead A's of apathy, B's of brusqueness, and C's of coarseness. Help me then to return to that innocence. Let the letters be letters once again, and let them rise to the heavens and form into the words that you know I wish to say. We rise as the ark doors are opened. Page 82.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Tavo lefanecha, Tefilatenu, V'yol Titalam, Midchinatenu, She'enanachnu, Azefanim, Ukeshei Oref, Lomar lefanecha, Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Tzadikim anachnu, v'lo chatanu, aval, anachnu chatanu.
As the ark doors are closed, you may be seated. On Yom Kippur, it is our custom to confess in the plural. Our soul, of course, is our own responsibility, but we do not move through the world alone. We are in a web of connections. We are affected by the actions of others, just as they are changed by our actions. Take a moment to look around you. You share the dreams and deeds, mistakes and misgivings with all the people you see here and with all the people beyond our walls. Our confession must take place in the community, for it is in this collective enterprise that we assume responsibility for each other. And so each of our confessions is in the plural, and as we chant these words on page 82, we do so in the plural, and it is our custom to gently tap ourselves on the heart, whether it's to awaken our hearts, whether it's to beat ourselves up a little bit, or whether it's to rub ourselves kindly. Ashamnu, page 82. Cantor? Okay.
Ashamnu,
Ashamnu,
Bagadnu,
Bagadnu,
Gazalnu,
Gazalnu,
Dibarnu Dofi,
Dibarnu Dofi, Avinu,
Vehirshanu,
Vehirshanu,
Zadnu,
Zadnu,
Chamasnu,
Hamasnu,
Tafalnu Shaker,
Tafalnu Shaker,
Yatsnu Ra,
Yatsnu Ra,
Kizavnu,
Kizavnu,
Latsnu,
Latsnu,
Maradnu,
Maravnu,
Niatsnu,
Niatsnu,
Sararnu,
Sararnu,
Avinu,
Avinu,
Pashanu,
Pashanu,
Sararnu,
Sararnu,
Kishinu Oreh,
Kishinu Oreh,
Rashanu,
Rishanu,
Shichatnu,
Shichatnu,
Tiavnu,
Tiavnu,
Tainu,
Tainu,
Titanu,
Titanu,
We confess together, of these wrongs we are guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely. We are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander, we devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey, we abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes, we are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral, we kill, we spoil, we go astray, we lead others astray. And as we continue our confessional prayers, we turn to page 86 for this responsive confession. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha,
the ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty and business.
Ve'al kulam Eloha slichot, salach lanu, machal lanu, kaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through cynicism and scorn, and harm we have caused in your world through arrogant behavior. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue, and harm we have caused in your world through a selfish, petty spirit.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'ones uvratzon. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'alui u'masater. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'tzadon u'vishgaga. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'avon haber. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'ribor peh. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'rozen yod. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'chilul Hashem. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'tzon emurim. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, be'hona hitzvat re'ah. Be'olam ve'ozihot. Salach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu. Ve'ach kulam Eloha slichot, salach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu. Ve'ach kulam Eloha slichot, salach lanu, mechal lanu, salach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu.
We continue on page 93. We want to balance and counter all of those regrets with acts of goodness we have performed. For acts of healing and repair, we read responsively. God, our creator and guide, let us speak now of the healing acts by which we bring you into the world, the acts of repair that make you a living presence in our lives. Al hatikun shetikanu lefanecha.
For the act of healing we have done openly or anonymously, and for the act of repair we have done without personal gain.
Al hatikun shetikanu lefanecha. For the act of healing we have done by seeking forgiveness, and for the act of repair we have done by forgiving others. Al hatikun shetikanu lefanecha. For the act of healing we have done through righteous giving, and for the act of repair we have done by opening our hearts. Al hatikun shetikanu lefanecha.
For the act of healing we have done by comforting the mourner
and visiting the sick, and for the act of repair we have done by pursuing justice and human rights, fairness, and civility.
Al hatikun shetikanu lefanecha, for the act of healing we have done by making peace between one person and another, and for the act of repair we have done by protecting nature and all its creatures. Al hatikun shetikanu lefanecha, for the act of healing we have done by teaching our children the ways of peace, and for the act of repair we have done by teaching our children the ways of Torah. Al hatikun shetikanu lefanecha, for the act of healing we have done by honoring elders and loving the stranger, and for the act of repair we have done in response to your commandment, choose life and blessing. Ve'al kulam, and all these bring nearer the day when you shall be one, and your name shall be one. We turn to page 98 for the singing of Shema Kolenu.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chuz v'rachem aleinu, aleinu. V'kabel berachamim, berachamim uvratzon tefilateinu. Shivenu Adonai Elohecha, Hashivenu elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu, yameinu kekedem. Tashlichenu, tashlichenu leitzikno ki glad korchenu. V'kabel berachamim, berachamim uvratzon tefilateinu.
We turn to page 113. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Some of us have cancer, some have lost strength of body, some have lost memory and speech, some of us are in pain, some can't find work, some of us bear the marks of human cruelty inside where the scars don't show. Some live with depression, some battle addiction, many feel alone. Some have known shattered marriages, trusts betrayed, hopes destroyed. Some of us have lost the ones we love far too soon, and some have lost a child. All of us have seen suffering in our midst. All of us know the ravages of war for which there are no words. Together, Avinu Malkeinu, why? Avinu Malkeinu, are you there? Do you care? Avinu Malkeinu, hear our pain. Hear our anger, hear our grief. Avinu Malkeinu, here is our prayer. Give us the strength to go on. Give us reasons to get up each day. Give us purpose and persistence. Help us to fend off fear and to hold on to hope. Help us to be kind. Don't make us bow or grovel for your favor. Give us dignity and give us courage. Avinu Malkeinu, show us the way to a year of goodness. Renew our belief that the world can be better. Restore our faith in life. Restore our faith in you. As the ark doors are open, we rise and turn to page 114. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Hamol Aleinu Ve'al Olaleinu Vetapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Dever Vechera Vera'av Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Kol Tsar Umastin Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kodvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu, Malei Adenu Mibirchotecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings.
Avinu Malkeinu, Harem Keren Mishichecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our eyes behold the dawn of redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu, Na'al Tashivenu Rekam Milfanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kabel Berachamim Uvratzon Et Tefilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it.
Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Imanu Lama'an Shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Lama'ancha Imlo Lama'anenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours.
Avinu Malkeinu, Ein Lanu Melech Ela Ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our sovereign.
Avinu Malkeinu, P'tak Sha'arei Shemayim Litfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu, Hus Verachem Aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Treat us with tender compassion.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vanenu Ki Ein Banu Ma'asim. Aseh Imanu Tzedakah V'Chesed V'Hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol Aleinu, Ve'ol Aleinu, Vetapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu,
תפילתנו, עוננו ועננו, כי אין בנו עשים.
Please be seated.
Is it just me, or did the service kind of fly this year? So on March 20th, 2017, somewhere around 7:15 in the evening, my phone rang. And Jack Carson, the immediate past president at the time, who was the chairperson of the Temple's nominating committee, the group that is charged with selecting the next Temple president, called me and said, "Congratulations, Jeff, you're up. You're going to be the next president of Temple Beth Sholom." I'm not 100% sure what he said after that, because I was kind of doing a little happy dance. Not quite that Elaine from Seinfeld happy dance, but you know, that one where you kind of slide across the floor on your knees like you just scored the winning goal in the World Cup, that kind of happy dance. Jack sobered me up pretty quick. He said, "Start writing your Kol Nidre speech now." I should have listened to Jack. I did ask Jack if he had any other advice, and if you know Jack Carson, in typical Jack Carson fashion, he said, "Yes, keep it short." The good news is I live by a motto that it's better to be thought of a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And I'm a far better listener than I am a talker. So in all respect to Jack, and because I don't really like to talk, I'm going to keep this short. My name is Jeff Graff, and I'm honored and humbled to be the president of Temple Beth Sholom. Yesterday I was asked if I had a title for my speech, and I didn't, really for two reasons. The first of which is I didn't have a title, and secondly, I didn't really have a speech. It's not funny. But I had like a bunch of random thoughts, and I had 36 hours to figure it out, so I knew I would get there. But I think if I had to title my speech, it would be, "How exactly did I get here?" After Rabbi Pomerantz's sermon on Rosh Hashanah about the science of community and acceptance and making big feel small, I really started to think about how exactly my role at Temple Beth Sholom came to be. You know, community can be defined as a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. And until last week, I really don't think I understood or realized the power of community. Nor did I realize how much this temple community has impacted my decision to become the president of the congregation. See, my family and I joined in 2002, and at the time I was happy just coming to High Holy Day services. I'd see my friends, I'd sit somewhere in the back, and we'd hang out outside or somewhere in the way, way back of the room, but I was getting exactly what I wanted from the temple at that time. I've often told the story about how I started coming to Saturday morning services so I wouldn't be a stranger at my daughter's bat mitzvah. Well, the first time I came on a Saturday, I was sitting right over there somewhere in the back row, all by myself. I kept to myself. I didn't feel the need to engage or talk to people. And then all of a sudden, as I've told you before, Alice Miller came and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Come sit with me." There's two things you need to know. I don't like change. It's not that I don't like change. I don't like the unknown that's associated with change, and I really don't like to move my seat. But as you know, Alice can be pretty persuasive, demanding. But it's important to understand that Alice didn't want me to sit next to her for the company. There was a whole row of people sitting with her when I got there. She actually made the entire row move over so I could sit next to her. I felt like I was sitting next to the principal again. But Alice saw that look on my face. She knew I was lost, and she wanted me to sit next to her so she could teach me the prayers, so she could help me understand the flow of the service. So that way, when I did get to my daughter's bat mitzvah, I would know what's going on. And you know, Alice introduced me to her community and made me feel comfortable. And there's a concept in Judaism that says working together as part of a community is more rewarding than working alone. Tovim hashnaim min ha'echad. Two is better than one. And without Alice's welcome and determination, I probably would not have gone to services the next week, and I know I would not be standing here tonight. Well, I did wind up sitting next to Alice for about a year or so, and made it through the bat mitzvah like a champ. I chanted Torah for the first time. But for some reason, I stopped going to services. And one day I saw a little blurb in our Kol advertising a Torah study class, followed by a minyan. It was perfect timing because I felt I needed a way to reconnect. And plus, they were offering bagels. I really wanted to go, but I didn't feel comfortable going alone. So I did something very out of character for me. I picked up the phone and I called my friend Victor Whitehorn. I'd met Victor when I was coming to services sitting with Alice. I asked Victor if he was going to the class, and he said he was. So we made a plan to meet, and 7 years later, we're still regulars to that class. Our little study community has grown to maybe 50 plus people on a regular basis, and I find myself looking forward to seeing which rabbi is teaching, who else is coming to class, and what lessons I'm going to learn. And if you're ever looking for me on a Saturday morning, I'll be in Torah study, listening, because I told you I don't like to talk. And I can tell you that there's no way I was going to that class by myself. It's far too intimidating. I never, ever, ever would have walked in that room alone. And if it wasn't for Victor, I probably wouldn't be going to Torah study today, and I would definitely not be standing here tonight. It's the power of community. Tovim hashnayim min ha'achat. Two are better than one. So I started attending that Saturday morning minyan service around the same time we did our Torah study. And if you've never been to that service, you're really missing out. Again, community, a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. That, in a nutshell, is our minyan. Cantor Siegel's created such a warm, supportive environment for gathering and prayer. There's a blend of traditional and modern melodies. The services are highly participatory, with congregants providing the music, chanting Torah and Haftarah. Everyone's welcome. Our minyan continues to grow. We're there to celebrate each other's simchas and support each other during times of sorrow. At the end of every service, we rise, we form a circle, we put our arms around one another, and we sing a closing prayer. That physical connection lasts for just a few minutes, but that spiritual connection lasts the entire week. For me, it's an amazing way to start the week. It's the true power of community. And I can tell you, if it wasn't for the supportive nature of that minyan, and the minyanaires as we're called, I definitely would not be standing here tonight. And I always thought my connection to this temple was from the business side. I chaired the budget committee. I started on the budget committee. I'm on the board of trustees. We really focus on the business of the temple. And I guess in a way that's my connection to the actual institution. But my true connection to the temple lies within this community. And I'm starting to realize exactly how I got here. I had the honor of serving on the senior rabbi search committee. I'll tell you how it ended in a minute. There were 18 members of that committee, representing all demographics of the congregation. When we started, I knew maybe 9 or 10 of the people on the committee, but by the end of the process, we weren't 18 people. We were one community working together on a common goal, choosing the third senior rabbi in our history. Spoiler alert. One of the people I didn't know at the beginning of the process was Richard Russ. I'd seen him around Temple, I've seen him at services here, but I never really got to know him. During the search process, we just started talking, and it turns out that not only is Richard a lifelong member of the temple, but he actually grew up with my mother and uncle. So I saw Richard last week before our Rosh Hashanah services, and he came up to me and he told me that normally he just comes to the family service with his kids and his grandkids. But this year he's staying at the main service just to support me. That's the power of community. Without people like Richard Russ standing up here today, would definitely not be as meaningful. My term as president began on June 1st, 2018, a pretty historic day at Temple Beth Sholom. It was also the day that we welcomed Rabbi Pomerantz as the third rabbi in our 75-year history. At 8:15 that Friday morning, Rabbi Pomerantz and I literally walked through the door together. It's an honor to be the first president to serve under Rabbi Pomerantz, and I could not think of a better partner to serve my term as president with. I look forward to supporting you and your vision, Rabbi, as you lead our temple into the future for a long time to come. In 2015, this temple took on a video project to document our history through the eyes of people who had been congregants for more than 50 years. The project, titled Aegis Wisdom, was created by Adam Snitzer and Rachel Pollack-Singerman. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It can be found on the temple's YouTube page. The stories are incredible, but to me it felt like there was 2 separate chapters in Temple Beth Sholom's history. Chapter 1 was the Rabbi Kronish years. Chapter 2, the Rabbi Glickstein years. And we are so fortunate to be here today. Chapter 3, page 1, the Rabbi Pomerantz years. I'm looking forward to writing the stories in that chapter with each and every one of you. So how exactly did I get here? It's through seemingly random acts of support from our community that ultimately influenced me to want to be president of Temple Beth Sholom. I didn't even realize it was happening. A few years ago, I decided to challenge myself and get more involved and do things outside the budget committee. So I decided to attend the URJ's biennial convention in Orlando. It's an amazing experience, but Jack's doing one of these, so I know I'm running out of time, so I'll tell you about it next year. But at the convention, I was at dinner with Shelley Groff, one of our past presidents, and she asked me if I would ever consider being president. And without hesitation, for the first time, I said yes, and I was only drinking water. I'm really glad she asked. You know, this temple community has given me so much. It'd be very selfish of me not to give back. And I don't think I'll ever be able to give back as much as I've received, but I'm going to try my best. Gamar Hatima Tova. May we all be inscribed in the book of life for good.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I'd like to invite up Jeff to make a couple of announcements now.
Jeff Graff, Temple President. Thank you, Aaron, for your beautiful, inspiring, and soulful music. I hear it every year, and it gets better and better, and we appreciate it. There's a full day of activities tomorrow, but I just want to give you a couple. We're starting the Unplugged service right here in the sanctuary at 8:45. 11:30 will begin our traditional services, and at these services I'll give you more detail for the afternoon activities. Tomorrow you'll find two ways to support Israel. One's through the Israel Bond Purchase Form, and the other is by contributing to support progressive Judaism in Israel. Our appeals will be tomorrow in the afternoon, but you can fill out the cards at any point and give them to a board member throughout the day. And please join us for one of our Conversations and More series of events. We'll host small, intimate discussion groups where Rabbi Pomerantz will share her vision with Temple Beth Sholom and listen to yours as she embarks on her first year as senior rabbi. We welcome everyone to be a part of these exciting conversations hosted by board members and congregants in their homes. Please contact Greg Lawrence, our Director of Membership, for more information or to RSVP. Gamar Hatima Tova. May you be inscribed in the book of life.
Beautiful, thank you. I want to remind you as well that we are engaged in Project Isaiah, where we are raising food for those people in our community that cannot eat, do not have the proper nutrition. Please go through your closets tonight. Find canned goods that you like, canned goods you don't like. Last year, over 70% of the canned goods were expired. We can do better than that. A lot better than that. Bring your food tomorrow. We'll be collecting at the front of the temple, and let's help feed our community. I'll ask you to please rise as the ark doors are opened for Aleinu, page 116. remain standing as we take a few moments to remember all those who came before us, those who may have died in years past at this season, those who may have died in recent days. As a congregation, we remember the more than 6 million men, women, and children who were murdered in the Shoah and the Holocaust. Remember all those who died making sure our homeland exists for us and for Jews around the world. Remember those who perished in the name of liberty, freedom, justice, and righteousness. And we remember all the innocent victims of hatred, ignorance, terrorism, and natural disasters. And we especially remember at this moment those who stood next to us, who sat next to us here in this sanctuary, who are no longer a part of the community, no longer part of our daily lives, but still remain as an important memorial within our hearts. I ask you to turn to page 122 as we take a few quiet moments to remember each in our own way. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of all the righteous in our lives be a blessing. Yit Gadal, V'yit Gadash, Shmei Rabbah, V'yalma, Divrach, Yerutei, V'yamlich, Malchutei, B'chaye Echon, V'yom Echon, Uv'chaye Duchol Beit Yisrael, B'gala, V'zman Kariv, Yimeru, Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mevarach, Le'olam, Olamei Amaya, Yit Barak, V'yit Tabak, V'yit Ba'ar, V'yit Ramam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Alev, V'yit Alal, Shemei Kudusha, B'rechu, Le'ila, Le'ila, Mikol, Birchata, V'shirata, Tush B'chata, V'nechamata, Da'amiran, B'yalma, V'yimeru, Yehei Shlam Araba, Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimeru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru, Amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all of you who mourn, comfort all who are bereaved, and send healing to all who are saddened, as together we say, Amen. And now we're going to sing, right, Cantor?
Right, Rabbi.
Let's
Oh,
sing.
say shalom.
Yes. Prayer for wholeness and peace together.
Oh, say shalom b'brama, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom.
Milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Shetichadesh Aleinu Shana Tova Umituka. Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year. Lishana Tova Tichatemu.
Amen.
Amen. Shana Tova.
Beautiful.
Beautiful service.